Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learn with Dr. Khizr. Hope you all are safe at home. This is the part 16 video of income from capital gains, and we have solved in the previous 5 different videos 5 different problems. This is the 6th problem what we are going to learn today. Okay, today's problem is very interesting. You will learn one more new thing today. That is, we have not touched the exemptions till now. So in this problem I am going to teach you one of the exemption, okay, which can be asked in the examination also. Fine, without wasting much of our time, let us directly start the problem. So here is the problem. So let me not highlight this now itself, you will get confused. Okay, fine. So problem says that Sri Raghu was the owner of 2 house properties. It is of 2 house properties, all residential properties at Bangalore, of which one of the residential house was sold on 28th February 2019 for rupees 2 lakhs. This house was purchased by him on 1st January 1979 for 15,000. He made some additions to the house by spending 3,000 in the year 1980. Further, he added a room to his house at a cost of 1 lakh in the year 2015. The fair market value as on 1st April 2001 was 15,000. He purchased a new residential house at Mysore on 25th March 2019 for rupees 2 lakhs. Compute his capital gains for the assessment year 2019-20. Cost inflation index for 2018-19 is given 280, 2014-15 240, and 2001-2 is given as 100. So very interesting problem. Okay, a different thing we are going to learn today. So let us understand the problem first before taking it to a practical. So Sri Raghu was the owner of 2 houses. Both were residential house properties. It was situated in Bangalore, of which one residential house was sold. So among these 2 houses, one residential house he has sold. For what value he sold? He sold for 2 lakh rupees. When did he sell? He sold this house on 28th of February 2019. So 2019 February means it is our previous year 2018-19. Okay. So he sold in our previous year 2018-19 for 2 lakh rupees. This house which he sold, he purchased the same house in the year 1979 for rupees 15,000. So the house which he is selling for 2 lakh rupees in 2019, he purchased way long back in 1979 for 15,000 rupees. So this is the cost of acquisition for our problem. Then he made some additions to the house by spending 3,000 in the year 1980. So in 1980, so he purchased when? He purchased in 79, I guess. Yeah, he purchased in 79. After 1 year, he made some 3,000, some alterations and additions to the house. And further, he also added one more room to his house. So for the same house, he has added one more room in the year 2015 by spending 1 lakh rupees. This is also one of the cost of improvement. So there are 2 cost of improvements. One is additions to the house of 3,000 which he spent, and he added one room for the house for costing rupees 1 lakh. Then they say that the fair market value as on 1st April 2001 was 15,000 rupees. He purchased the house in 79, correct? In 2001, the market value of that house was 15,000 itself. Okay, he purchased a new residential house at Mysore. Okay, so he has purchased a new house in Mysore, one more new house in Mysore, when on 25th March 2019 for rupees 2 lakhs. So he has invested 2 lakh rupees and purchased the new house. They are asking to compute income from capital gains for the assessment year 2019-20. Okay, chalo. Hope little bit clarity you have got. Okay, we will try to understand it more clearly. Okay, fine. So who is the assessee here? Mr. Raghu is the, sorry, Shri Raghu is the assessee. Okay, not Mr. Raghu in this. Fine. So assessee is Shri Raghu or Mr. Raghu. Then status, because they have not given, we have written as assumed to be resident. Previous year is 2018-19 and assessment year is 2019-20. This remains as usual. Then what was the type of property? Residential house property was sold, right? When did he purchase that property? He purchased in 79, he sold in 2019. See, we are not talking about the other property which he did not sell. We are talking about only those property which he sold, because when you sell, then only you will get the capital gains, correct? Then only you will get the income from capital gains. So that's the reason we have to consider only those assets which are sold. Okay, fine. So here he purchased the property in 79, sold in 2019. It was a residential house property. Residential house property falls under other assets. The rule for other assets are, if the assessee holds any asset for more than 3 years, it should be considered as long-term capital asset, and if it is less than 3 years, it should be short-term capital asset. Here the assessee is having the asset with him for more than 3 years, so it will be long-term. So it will be long-term capital asset. Fine. So long-term capital asset format we have to apply. What is the format? It starts from gross sale consideration. Just a second, you give me. Yeah. So it starts from gross sale consideration. How much was the sale value? Gross sale consideration is nothing but the sale value. So sale value is given here, right? He sold a property for 2 lakh rupees. Sorry, it is 20 lakhs, not 2 lakh. Make it 20 lakh. Okay. So he sold this property for 20 lakh rupees. There is no any realization expense mentioned for selling this house. Nothing brokerage or any other expenses is been incurred. So it will be nil. If you minus this 2, as usual, you will get the net sale consideration, that is 20 lakh itself, because there is no realization expense. Because the asset is long term in nature, so indexing should be done for cost of acquisition and for cost of improvement. Okay. So cost of acquisition, indexing, how we have to do? There is a formula. Indexed cost of acquisition equals cost of acquisition divided by cost inflation index of year of acquisition multiplied by cost inflation index of the year of sale, because he has sold the property in previous year 2018-19, so we have taken as previous year. Okay, so let us see what is the cost of acquisition. So cost of acquisition, here he acquired this property for 15,000, correct, in 79, and even they have given the fair market value as on 21st April 2001. So in that case, what we need to do? We need to do the actual revised cost of acquisition, right? So let us write here as revised cost of acquisition. Where is caps? Okay. So it is revised cost of acquisition. Revised cost of acquisition means you will compare fair market value with the cost of acquisition. But here in this problem, both are same. So that's the reason I have directly taken 15,000. If you compare also, whichever is high, you are going to take. So 15,000 is the cost of acquisition. Divided by, for 1979, there is no cost inflation index. Our cost inflation index starts only from 2001-2 for the previous year 2018-19, right? So in that case, it is 100. So we will take as 100 and the previous year cost inflation index is 280. Hope till now you have recognized and memorized the cost inflation index. Usually cost inflation index will be asked for applied or applicable for previous year and 2001 to and other years. Okay, so anyways here, so 15,000 divided by cost inflation index of the year of acquisition we don't have, so we will take cost inflation index of fair market value, here it is 100, multiplied by cost inflation index of the year of sale of the asset. We sold the asset in 2018-19, that is our previous year. Cost inflation index is 280. So if you substitute, you will get the answer as 42,000. Hope I did not calculate you people and show this simple calculation. So it is 42,000 indexed cost of acquisition. Indexed cost of improvement, there are two improvements which were made. If you remember, we have already discussed that any improvement made before 2001, that is before our fair market value year, we will ignore that. And after that, whatever is being taken, we have to consider those things. So in the problem, there are two additions which are given. So what are those? Here are those. He made some additions of the house spending 3,000 in 1980. This we are going to ignore because it is before 2001, 1980, right? And one more addition was he made a room which is costing 1 lakh in 2015. This we are going to take. So we are going to do the indexing of this also. What is the formula for indexed cost of improvement? Indexed cost of improvement equals cost of improvement. So what was the cost of improvement? 1 lakh, right? Divided by cost inflation index of year of improvement. The improvement was made in 2014-15, for which cost inflation index is 240 rupees. Okay, let us see here if it is given. Yeah, it is given here 240 rupees, right? Multiplied by cost inflation index of the year of cost inflation index of our previous year, that is 280. So if you substitute this, you are going to get answer of 1,16,667. If you want, let me show a small calculations. Okay, working very quickly. That is 1 lakh divided by 240 multiplied by 280. If you do, you will get 1,16,666.66. So we will make 667. So we have taken here 1,16,667. Then as per the format, you are going to subtract these two items, indexed cost of acquisition and indexed cost of improvement, with the net sale consideration. That is, net sale consideration is 20 lakhs, indexed cost of acquisition is 42,000, indexed cost of improvement is 1,16,667. Okay, if you minus, you will get 18,41,333. So this 18,41,333 is our gross capital gain, right? Then next is exemption. This is the thing what I wanted to tell you people. So if you notice here, he has purchased a new residential house at Mysore on 25th March 2019 for rupees 2 lakh. So let me highlight this so that you will remember this point. He purchased a new residential house at Mysore on 25th of March 2019, which was costing 2 lakh rupees. Now let me take you to exemptions. Yeah, so here exemptions, let us discuss. So here if you see section 54, individual should be a person. There are conditions, already this we have discussed. Residential house to be sold. In our problem also, Mr. Raghu is an individual, right? He is not a company, he is not a joint firm or anything, Hindu Endowed family. He is an individual. First condition is solved. Then second is he has sold residential house, correct? So in our problem also, if we notice, he has sold a residential house itself, correct? If you remember, 2 residential house he had, 1 he sold, correct? And that house should be long term in nature. Yes, he purchased the house in 1979. he sold in 2018. So more than 3 years, it is long term in nature. So third condition is also solved. And fourth condition is new residential house should be purchased. In our problem also, this is the point what I wanted to explain you. So here new residential house is purchased, correct? So within 1 year he should purchase. Let even discuss this. So there is a rule when the house should be purchased before 1 year of sale. When did he sell? Okay, in our problem he sold on 28th February 2019. So before 1 year of this, okay, he has to purchase. So if you see the date, it is within 1 year itself he has purchased. Okay, it is after, no problem. So he has sold in 2019, he has purchased in 2019 itself. Sold in February, purchased in March. So after 1 month immediately he has purchased. So either 1 year before or within 2 years he has to purchase. Okay, if he is purchasing the house, either he should purchase the house before selling that particular house 1 year before, or afterwards if he is purchasing after the sale, within 2 years he has to purchase. In our case it is purchased after the sale. Okay, immediately next month itself he has purchased, means he is satisfying this condition also, fourth condition. Okay, it's written as or here, correct? Or in that case, if he is not purchasing, either he has to construct the house within 3 years of the date of transfer. So this is not applicable because he has not constructed. Anyways, among these 3 or 4 items, any one should be satisfied. Okay, either purchase within 1 year prior, purchase after 2 years within from the date of transfer, or construction of house 3 years, within 3 years, or deposit in bank, okay, under capital gain account scheme. So among these 4 activities, second activity is satisfied here. So fourth point also is satisfying, correct? So all the 4 conditions are satisfied. Raghu is an individual, he sold a residential house, that house is long term in nature as we have classified long term capital asset, and he has purchased the new residential house within the 2 years of transfer date. Okay, so all the 4 points are satisfied. So section 54 can be applied here. So that's the reason, if you notice here in the answer I have written as exemption under section 54, correct? Now what is the limit of exemption that we need to give here? So that we will understand. Let us come back again to this slide. So what is the amount of exemption that we need to give? Either we have to compare first. Okay, what we have to compare? Gross capital gain should be compared with the cost of new house. If there is any amount deposited, the cost of new house and amount deposited total we have to make and compare with gross capital gain. So in our problem, so whichever is less, that you need to consider. In our problem, gross capital gain is 18,41,333. So 18,41,333 should be compared with the cost of purchase of house. So he purchased the house for 2 lakh. It is clearly mentioned here, correct? So this should be compared with 2 lakhs. Along with 2 lakh, if he has deposited any amount in the bank under capital gain account scheme, that also we have to take. But in our problem, this is not mentioned, it is 0. Means that 2 lakh should be compared with 18,41,333. 18,41,000 is our gross capital gain, correct? And 2 lakh is our cost of residential property. And this is capital gain account scheme. Okay, this 2 with 18 lakh, which is the lowest one. Whichever is lowest we have to take here. Lowest is 2 lakhs, correct? So we have to consider 2 lakh as the exemption limit. Okay, let me insert the shapes. Just give me 1 second to make you people understand, I'm just trying to take out the floor bracket. Yeah, here it is. So these things should be compared, right? Whichever is lowest will be written here. Okay, so this both is to be added and compared with this value. Okay, whichever is lowest among these two should be considered. Let me give some different color itself for this. Okay, so which is lowest? 2 lakh is lowest, so we are going to consider 2 lakh rupees. Suppose here it was 2 lakhs or 2 lakh 50,000 or 3 lakh rupees capital gain account scheme, then it will become 5 lakh. 18 lakh minus or 5 lakh, whichever is low, 5 lakh will be the answer. Okay, so here it is 0, so we are not considering this. Hope you have understood how to solve the exemptions. This is how you have to identify from the problem and you have to solve the exemptions. So 2 lakh is the amount now we are considering. So now gross capital gain will be subtracted with exemption under section 54. You will get 16,41,333 as your taxable long-term capital gain. Okay, till the previous problems we did not do this part, exemptions. This is the first problem we have done. Okay, hope it is clear to you people. Okay, and there is no much thing to understand here, just you have to see that the rules are applicable. Okay, which rules are applicable, those exemptions you have to apply. So here, because there was sale of house and purchase of house, so we have applied section 54. Suppose for example, okay, let us take this. If there is sale of land, agricultural land, okay, and purchase of agricultural land, 54B will be applicable. So see these 4 things, okay, whichever is applicable among the sections that you have to apply. Okay, you have to see purchase and sale, and anyhow first point will be always satisfied because they will give individual problems itself for us, and you have to see other rest of the things. Okay, hope you have understood. The video is becoming very long, and if you have any doubts, ask me in the comment section, and kindly mention in the comment section you are following it or not, you are understanding or not, what difficulties you are having. Okay, so that I can, that is, adjust my lecture as per your needs. Okay, stay tuned with the channel and see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe, learn from home. Thank you very much.